Hey guys, today I have this makeup look right here. I'm going to be doing half of my face using all drugstore products and the other half of my face using all higher end products. So we got drugstore versus higher end. This look is perfect for summer that's just around the corner, and if you guys are interested on seeing which side is higher end and which side is drugstore, then let's go ahead and hop right on. Alright, so to begin the half drugstore versus higher end products, the first thing I did was my eyebrows. As you can see, I did them off camera. This side I did the Anastasia dip brow in the shade Chocolate, and then this side I did the Loreal brow stylist in the shade Deep Brunette. I absolutely love both of these products. They're both pomades. So this side of my face is going to be the higher end and this side of my face is going to be drugstore. So let's go ahead and get on into the rest. So starting off, I'm going to go ahead and prime up my eyelids. So I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Pro Primer. So I'm just going to go ahead and prime this eyelid with the drugstore one. And blend that out. And because I never really use eyeshadow primers anymore, at least higher end ones, I'm going to go ahead and use concealer, higher end concealer on this eyelid. So I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium. And then I'll blend both of them out.
So I also just want to throw in here that this video is not filled with complete dupes for one another. They're just products that I think that are similar and that can work in the same way.
So they are a little bit of two different formulations, but I could not find a eyeshadow primer that was the same as my drugstore one because I'm so used to using either that or a concealer. So I'm not sure if that's technically cheating, but I really couldn't find one that would be comparable to it. So we're just gonna have to make this work. I'm sure it will because I'm used to using both of them. So once that's blended, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my eyeshadows. Today I'm taking the Smashbox Ablaze palette, I believe it's called. And then this one is the Milani Everyday Eyes, and this is an eyeshadow palette. They both have such similar shades in here. I've been really going towards more of that orangey type of eye look, so I figured I'd do that today. And this one has those type of shades. So super similar. There are some differences, but I feel like the orangey type of peachy shades are really similar, and that's the type of look that I wanted to go for today, so we're gonna go ahead and make it work. So this side is gonna be the Milani one. Haven't decided what kind of look I'm actually gonna go for, so we'll just play around. That's beautiful. These shades are so similar, and they actually feel like they're blending out to be the same. And I just love the way this is blending out. I am using two brushes just because I did put a little bit too much product on here. It did come out with a lot of product on the brush, but I don't mind blending it away with a separate one, so that's why it looks a little weird. I'm probably just gonna make this look a really smoky peach color, so there might not be too much going on. So I'm gonna go now hop over to the higher end side so I can go ahead and see how I'm gonna do that side since I'm not sure, but I'm gonna use different brushes, but that actually blended out really nicely. And I know it's just like a light wash of the color, but it's super pretty. Like, look how pigmented that is. Yes, girl. So now I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox palette, and I'm gonna mix both of these shades right here together just to kind of get this shade, because one is a little bit deeper and one is a little bit more shimmer. So I'm just gonna mix them and hope for the best. And it should look the same. Okay, I see you. That looks great. I'm just gonna continue to mix those and put a little bit more of this deeperish color right here on the brush. Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Again, I'm gonna go in with a separate brush, different one of course, and blend. I don't know what it is, but recently I've been really going towards these types of colors. I think it really complements at least my eye color, but it just looks super gorgeous, especially like if you're tan. Ooh, yes. Like, I don't know, these are my go-to colors, so if this look looks a little bit repetitive, I am sorry. We're not mixing the brushes over here. I am pretty much just keeping this look pretty smoky and not like precise in any way. I'm gonna bring it down to the lower as well. It's really hard not to go back over to the side with this brush, so I'm gonna go back over to the drugstore palette, pick up those colors again, and start building up a little bit more just so they look a little bit more even. I'm gonna bring it down below. Then I'm gonna go back. Okay, so now to add just a little bit of champagne type of color to this look in the inner corner area only. I don't know if I'm gonna do like a full-on lid color because I like this smoky, blown out type of look right now, but I'm going in with Kitten from Stila. And then I'll go in with the shade from the Milani palette right into the inner corner right here. Really love this Kitten shade, it's gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and pop a tiny bit of this on the higher end right here. Which is the first shade right here, has a little bit of shimmer flecks in it. It does resemble Kitten just a little bit with the champagne color. Because that looked a little harsh. And then I'm just gonna take a brush and just literally buff a little bit on top of my lid very lightly, just so we can get some of the orangish and peach shade there, because I honestly don't want to put a lid color today. I like how it looks, like the blown out matte type of look. And in order to achieve like a blown out look, blending honestly is key. So I'm gonna just keep blending. So once that is on like so, it looks a little weird right now, but honestly, once I keep going, I think it'll look a little bit better. And we're gonna move on to the face, and then we can always hop back over. Go ahead and prime up the face today. I'm using the Loreal Visible Lift Radiance Booster on the drugstore side. And then on the higher end side, I'm gonna use Smashbox Photo Finish, and this is a color correcting one, but it will help brighten the skin. The L'Oreal one claims to brighten as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop both these on. So moving on to foundation, I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Pro Glow for Drugstore. I'm using IT Cosmetics CC Cream in the shade Medium on the higher end side. Now these have a little bit of the same consistency, and I like the fact that they both have a little bit of SPF in it. I'm gonna go ahead and dot that on the skin first, and I think it should be a good match. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this brush to go ahead and blend it in, and blend it down to my neck as well. Okay, so that is the IT Cosmetics one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the L'Oreal Pro Glow. I might have to add a different foundation to this one as well, because I'm not sure if it's gonna match me. My self-tan is at a weird stage right now, but it should work. If not, I will add a little bit of another foundation from the drugstore in there as well. But for this side, I'm gonna go in with a different brush. Dot it all over first. The IT Cosmetics CC Cream on that side is a little bit thicker. Just a little bit thicker, but I feel like they both look great and like healthy on the skin. I haven't used a brush like this to blend it out in a while. It feels so weird. So even if these shades aren't 100% matching up with my skin tone, because it is a little hard to blend it down, making sure I match, also making sure both the sides match, I will be blending with bronzer. Don't worry if it doesn't blend like that, because I will be going in with bronzer to kind of mask and match everything. But it looks good off camera right now. I don't know what it's appearing on camera. So moving on to concealer, today I'm going to go ahead and use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. And then for the drugstore side, I'm using the Wet n Wild's concealer, and this is the Photo Focus Concealer. Packaging on them looks a little similar, and I feel like the actual formulation and product itself works a little bit in the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and put it directly underneath, and this is a little bit too light for me, so I am going to go in and mix it with another one, just because I have to do that with all of mine, I feel like it never looks the same, but both these colors match up awesome. So I'm just going to put a little bit under there and then go in with another one and blend for the color. So for the drugstore side, I'm going to use the Pro Conceal in the shade Natural to blend with this one. And then for this side, I'm going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium. And this looks completely weird, but I'm just going to go ahead and work it in. I hope it'll be fine. So that is the drugstore side blended out. I'm going to take the remainder and just bring it down the middle. Even though the whole point is to do half and half, I feel like I'm not really going to get half and half in the center of my face. So I'm just going to blend the remainder down. And I'm going to use the other side of this little beauty blender and blend on this side. So once my concealer is on and good to go, I think they look pretty much the same. Like I said, I did have to mix my own in there just to get my own perfect shade. So moving on to powder to go ahead and set that down. For the higher end side, I'm using the Mercier translucent powder, and this is my favorite powder. I feel like my makeup looks completely different if I don't use this or if I use something different. So we shall see what this one brings. But for this side, for the drugstore, I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro powder, and this is an HD setting powder as well. And this is in the banana yellow shade as opposed to this being translucent. I didn't have another translucent powder. The only other one I did have was the Airspun powder, and this also has a little bit of a color to it as well. So I didn't have another translucent for drugstore, but we'll see how this works and we'll give it a go. So use my Mercier with that same beauty blender, the mini one, and just really pack it on and get it under the eye. Just to get to like completely airbrush. I love it. Oh, great. And then I'm going to go in with the other side. That one was the LA Girl one right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and dust both of them off. And then same thing with this side. Alright, so to go ahead and bronze and contour up the skin today, I'm using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer on this side of my face. And then for the drugstore, I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro contour powder, and I'm going to use this shade right here. And then a little bit up here. Then I'm going in with the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer on this side. So now that I have both sides of bronzer on, I'm going to go ahead and move back over to the eyes and add some mascara and false lashes. So I couldn't find like a higher end one looking like a drugstore one, if that makes sense. So I had to just use one pair, and I'm going to go ahead and use these ones. These are from OG Lashes. So these lashes are in the style East Coast, and what's really cool about them is they're not expensive. They're pretty inexpensive, and the actual quality of them is really nice. So I'm going to use that on both of my eyes. I know it's not different, but we're going to roll with it. And for mascara, before I go ahead and move on to that, I'm going to do my lower mascara first. For the higher side, I'm using the Loreal Lash Boss, and then for the drugstore, I'm going to use the CoverGirl So Lashy. And they both have more of that plasticky type of tip on them, so I feel like it works pretty well. And these are both have been my favorite, but one's from the drugstore and one's from higher end. So we're going to go ahead and pop those on the lower lashes first. So once both the lashes are on, I'm going to go ahead and pop on the mascara again just to blend in with the root. I'm not going to make sure like it gets on the actual part of the lash. I just like to blend it with my natural root so they look a little bit more natural, and it does help the lashes with reusing them. I find blinking on it just a little bit helps. Now to go ahead and move on to some highlighting, which is my favorite part, we're going to go in with the Loreal Ballerina for the higher end, and then for drugstore, I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow in the shade Precious Petals. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Wet n Wild first and pop it on the cheekbone. Just like so. And then I'm going to go in with Ballerina, which is super similar to that one that I had in my collection, at least that I can find. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. And then to go straight down my nose, I'm going to just take whatever's left on this brush. And this was left over, I believe, from the drugstore side. And then moving on to one of the last steps, which is the lips. I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Ofra Liquid Lip in the shade Dubai on the higher end side. And then for the drugstore side, I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Nudie Patootie, and this is the Liquid Catsuit. Now that does match, but I feel like it doesn't like do it for me. I feel like this is just too washy-washy. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Ofra Bel Air. I'm just taking the NYX lip liner in the shade Nude Beige. I'm just going to line this part of my lip and fill it in. And then this side of my lips is the shade Bel Air from Ofra. And then I am just going to put a little tiny bit in the center of Bel Air, right in the center, just so it kind of blends evenly. I feel like this is a really good match. One is a lip liner, one is a liquid lip, so because it's not identical to the formulation, I feel like I need to blend it a little bit. Now to go ahead and set it down, I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray on the higher end side, and then the drugstore side, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Setting HD Spray. So that pretty much wraps up the drugstore versus higher end half face. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and this is the look that I came up with. Pretty simple, but again, I wanted to see how the products would actually work with each other and if they were dupes and what were dupes and things like that, and I really like the way that it turned out. This look is perfect for summertime that's approaching, and yeah, I really do love the shades recently. I just love that orangey tone. I'm so pleased with how the drugstore and the higher end side came out. I really do like it, and I hope you guys do as well. If you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you guys are new. And I think that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Mwah.